Good day, mga tol. This is Tall Fry, and today we'll be taking a look at the Medicom Mafex Gambit. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, the X-Men isn't even my favorite Marvel team, and Gambit is certainly not my favorite X-Man. But two things convinced me to get this figure. One, I had already pre-ordered the Mafex Hush, and I thought, maybe I could switch the trench coats between the figures. That'd be cool. And two is so thankfully, I was able to snag one from AmiAmi before it sold out in like an hour. And here it is, this beautiful piece of plastic. We got the standard window box packaging. I like how they also tried to replicate the corner cover box you see in comic book covers. And Gambit's trademark line is, with an ace up our sleeves? At the sides, we have some awesome Gambit promo poses. Me when she keeps sucking my powers dry. At the back is the Holy Grail, more promo pics and those sweet, sweet accessories. Top, bottom, gotta say that the yellow and pink motif is a little off to me. The pink makes sense because that's like Gambit's energy, but wouldn't other colors be better than yellow? Blue pink, silver pink, black pink? And here's the Mafex Gambit right out of that packaging, and my gosh, just look at it for a second, will you? Like, it looks so gosh dang beautiful. The blend of colors, the pink, the black, the light blue, and even the brown. He looks so good. That's as far as I can explain it. His head sculpt looks pretty good, yeah. It's probably the best Gambit head sculpt we have so far, better than the Marvel Legends, and arguably even better than the Mezco version. I like how the hair is swooping to the side, and the paint apps on that hair isn't that bad either. It has a nice brown look, and a wash also to distinguish like the strands of it. The head sculpt itself looks very accurate to the comics. He has that weird mask thingy that covers everything except his face. He comes with this scowling head sculpt out of the packaging. And then moving down, we have those shiny bits, the light blue, the dark blue, and that very vibrant metallic pink. Is so eye-catching. Like, if you just set him on a shelf, he will definitely be one of those that you're like, oh frick, that looks so good. The light blue belt thingy. As we go down, the black. You kind of realize that basically all body parts of this Gambit figure is shiny. Not all look metallic, but it's nice to see that it doesn't feel cheap. It's not low quality, but it still is pretty nice to look at. Down these legs, you have those pink/purple stripes going down, which feel very nice. They are engraved in there, by the way. It's not just paint. And then as we go down to these shin guard thingies, those look absolutely beautiful. You have that weird knee guard pattern right there, and these ridges on the metallic looking shin guards, and goes all the way down to the feet. As for this jacket, it has a bendy wire in it, so you can pose it in all the creative poses that you would want. It's a very nice material also. I feel like it's not the type that would break too easily. And for added detail, I like how they also added the stitching here to give it that design pattern that you'd see in the comics. It's not just some plain old fabric looking thingy. There's some sort of design here. Metal studs at the top there on the shoulders for added authenticity, I suppose. And then here at the back, you can see these are two distinct parts. You can separate them, which I guess is kind of like an actual trench coat. I guess they could have added like the strings here, right, that go down there, can flow in the wind and stuff, but that's super minor. This is still a really well done package. And for his look without the coat, dang boy, he got the muscle definition and everything. So as you can see here, that you can see more of those light blue ridges of the bodysuit, which is nice. I'm not calling it, is that a bodysuit? I just call it a bodysuit. His arms, just like his legs, are black, and they also have that shiny pink stripy thing. I think I read somewhere that's like part of his guild, the Thieves Guild or something, so some sort of ranking. If you have him without his trench coat, he can look a little skinny. I think it looks just fine, he needs to fit those arms in the trench coat somehow. I can still see it as normal proportions somewhat. So yeah, the black goes all the way down the arm, and his gloves are like those artist gloves where some of the fingers are uncovered. If you look at the back here too, the shiny metallic look still continues on. Very nice muscle definition. This guy, he has all the freaking muscles he needs with the superhero proportions and all, and the colors and paint apps look absolutely exquisite. And putting his coat back on, because that's the look I prefer more. Paint apps sculpt, I think, is an absolute perfect thing. It was done perfectly. I guess you're bound to find maybe some Mafex QC issues on some copies, but as for mine, I absolutely Love it so much. It is an absolute Remy Labute. Going over his articulation without the coat, his head can look up and down a good bunch, turn around side to side of course with that neck articulation, and then he can also do wonderful tilt, so that's really great. Then his arms can go up above 90, which is always amazing. Then can go all around like that. Bicep swivel. He even has shoulder joints, by the way, which can go like up down, and even slide butterfly. Double jointed elbows, of course. Wrist articulation, which will go up and down or left and right. Then for the torso, he can crunch. He can crunch that much, which is a really great amount. Then can go back that much, which is also a really great amount. Swivel on the diaphragm and the waist joints. Then he also has torso tilt. Then he has the drop down legs, of course, which you can use to go above 90 degrees, and then he can go somewhat split. He can backward kick a little bit like that, just like that, but his butt will get in the way. He has some slight yes, really good swivel actually. Then double jointed knees, ankle rocker, up and down hinge, and then he even has toe articulation. Putting the code back on him just to check how much it may or may not hinder articulation. The only one that's noticeable is in the arms, but it's like very slight. He can still kind of shift it up to a little above 90, but of course it will kind of drag back down because of all that cloth. But if you can position it, it still looks really great. You can get into pretty much any position that I think you'd want Gambit to be in. So here are Gambit's accessories, at least the first few of them anyway. We have some extra hands, open hands, some opener hands, and some opener hands with some pegs sticking out of them. Aside from that generous serving of extra hands, we also have an extra head. This extra head is different from the first one because he is now angrier in this one. I mean, it looks cool, for sure, when he's like putting more power and in a hard fight. One thing I guess he could have used was like a smirking or smiling head. That seems like the charmer Gambit that we know. So to change it, of course, you just pull off that one head, which is pretty easy, and then pop on the other head, cha-ching, and he looks good with it as well when he's taking things into overdrive. We also have these other hands, which are specific to certain accessories. Let's start with these ones. These are some pole handling hands. Pole? Staff. Yes, I meant staff, not pole. As you can see, this staff is beautiful with its light blue color and the metallic look on it, just like with the shin guards. It's very matching. It's undoubtedly Gambit. And then they also come with these pink flame effects, which are pretty dope. These actually did catch my eye when I first saw the promo pics. I was like, dang, it's not just a staff, it's a staff with energy effects. So that's pretty dope. You can put the staff through both hands if you wanted to, if you want him to like two-hand it or one-hand it. Then the remaining hands are specific to these cards, and you can't really switch them. Well, I guess you can if you're creative enough, but like they're really meant for certain card pieces. This left hand is for the two flaming card effect thingies. Just like the other energy effect pieces, you have that translucent pink effect. It seems like there's some sort of gradient too. They're like really clear parts and then pink and then pinker parts, which really sells the effect that it's like burning or charging up. The cards seem to be like plain white and clear. I would have wanted some kind of design on it, like hearts, spades, and all that. In this one, it's like a card with a trail kind of effect, which looks really nice. Not as much paint apps, not as dark at least, with the paint apps here, but it still gets the job done. So with that said and done, you might be wondering, wait a minute, where do these hands come into play? Well, since this is the first review of this figure, of course, and is very brand new, liar! I will show you what these peg hands are for. So if you didn't already notice, these are card throwing effects that come with the Gambit figure, and my gosh, they just really piled up all the accessories as much as they could with this figure, and I love it so much. So they are different. As you can see, one looks more fiery, the other one looks simpler with its energy trail, but they are both sculpted and painted very nicely. One thing to note though is that the cards here on the card throwing effects are much bigger than the cards that go on the hands. I guess you can kind of play with the perspective or point of view in your shots, just so that won't look too apparent. They are really big, and one of them is much heavier than the other. This is the lighter one, this is the heavier one. There is a hole right there, and you can peg it on to the hand. So it looks like he is throwing or just threw a bunch of cards at the opponent. Since this is heavy, it can break off the pegs if it is unsupported. Aside from the usual Mafex stand, it also comes with an individual stand for support so that it won't rely solely on the pegged hands, because if it does, then there's a huge chance that it would snap off and break. That's actually what happened to mine. Well, it didn't snap off. The glue just came off and I had to glue it back in place. So at least there's that fix, but just be very careful when using the heavier part. This one though, this should be no problem. You'll sell the effect either way, and my gosh, what a wonderful bunch of accessories for just one figure, one character. This is what we love, Mafex. This Mafex Gambit figure stands at around 6 3/4 inches. For size comparisons, here's Gambit next to the Mafex Spider-Man and Marvel Legends Human Torch. And here he is next to Marvel Legends Deadpool, both comic and movie version. And since I have no more X-Men, ooh, sad. Here he is next to the Lego Magneto and Deadpool, again. So in conclusion, I really love this figure. It very much lives up to the expectations and can be deemed the best Gambit figure in 1/12 scale. In fact, if I were a bigger Gambit fan, this could have easily been in my top 3 favorite figures of the year. Everything about it, from the paint apps to the articulation, and oh my gosh, those accessories? Magnificent. The only cons that I would have with this are the easily detachable hand pegs, and in my copy, one of the leg joints was extremely tight to the point that I was scared of breaking it. Nevertheless, those are fixable problems which barely make a dent in all of the pros that come with this figure. It might not be my #1 figure of the year, but I can without a doubt say that it's 2021's most beautiful figure. But what do you guys think? Is Gambit the best figure of 2021, or are there some other contenders that you think are more worthy? Share your thoughts in the comments down below and like and subscribe while you're at it. And I'd just like to thank all of y'all so much for helping me reach more than 300 subscribers. Sheesh! That's more than I ever expected, and I hope I continue to create more videos with you guys in mind. And I hope all of y'all had a happy and Merry Christmas. I'm just rambling at this point. I'm sorry that I took so long to make this new video. I've been pretty busy, but yeah, I will try to change and fix my schedule for the better, I hope, this coming year. Please, COVID, die already. Till next time, guys, thank you so much once again. I love all y'all, and don't forget to be good people. Or whatever. So yeah. Slides here. He'll get the stripes. The Mafex figure.